guess it was must have been a couple years ago, or I don't remember when, but I read something on one of the trades that the Coens were going to be doing a movie about the folk scene in the '60s, and immediately, because I've been a huge fan of Coens for forever, since I was watching movies, so and also love for music and folk music, so I immediately then I was like, oh, that's it right there. I need to be a part of that. So I let the people, my reps, know about that, and I was like, let me know what's going on about that. And so finally the time came to that they were auditioning and seeing people, and so I was able to get in for an audition. I met Ellen, who was a casting director, and I came in for her, and did a couple of the scenes, and then went home and recorded "Hang Me," which is the Van Ronk version of an old folk song that they were having, I think, a lot of people sing and put on tape. And I did that. I recorded it, spent like 4 hours recording it, 4 or 5 hours, just did like 30 different versions of it, until I finally felt like, okay, this one's decent, and sent it in, and then the Coens saw that and asked me to come in for an audition for them, and I came in. And just in case, I learned a couple other of Dave's songs. I learned Dink's song and a couple other ones. And did the scenes and played a couple songs. And then it was great. It felt really good in the room. And then they said they'd let me know. And then a month later, I got after a month of agonizing over whether I was going to get it and screaming out to the universe, "Give me this!" I finally got the call. Joel called me, which was a great way to find out, which was really just kind of goes to his personality and just how kind he is, and said that they wanted to do the movie with me. I think he ends up finding himself in a bit of an existential crisis, which, I mean, really, just life is just one long existential crisis, I guess, but he's things are piling up in a way against him that I think that they haven't yet. They haven't so far in his life. I think this particular week of his life there's particular challenges that make him want to kind of throw in the towel. And I think what we're doing is like coming in at a moment when he's when you actually see him at the beginning of the film start in a slightly positive place, at least for him, it's a positive place. But as things progress, it's just one roadblock after the other that he's has to overcome, and he does. And I think partly there is a bit of the comedy of resilience, that his resilience, in a way, kind of like Buster Keaton. Sometimes you watch, he's just one thing after the other, but he's pushing through, and that, I think, makes us laugh and makes us love him. And I think there's a similar thing with this movie. That's the thing. Whenever I knew I was doing good, or when a scene went well, is when I would see them, Joel and Ethan, laughing the most. And the times they would laugh the most is whenever I would forget that it was a comedy and just treat it as tragedy. Whenever I was in the most internal pain in any given scene is when they would laugh the most. And I think that's because, but it's not a laughter of like, ha-ha. It's the laughter of recognition and of like, that's true. That's, we laugh because it's awful, and that's how life feels, often. But out of that comes a joy. It's not a cynical view of life, I've been a musician since, since I was 12. I've been playing guitar. What's funny is that I have a friend of mine that I met who has been playing in the Village for years. He's lived on McDougal Street for 40 years. His name's Eric Franzen. And I started playing with him when I started prepping for this movie, and he said, "You've been a guitar owner for 20 years. You've been a guitar player maybe for like 7 months," which is true, because I've always played, I've always written music, but this kind of thing, this Travis picking and this particular style that Dave played, which was a lot influenced by ragtime, Reverend Gary Davis and all these guys.